Salaam Alaykum.
Alaikum assalam.
Great. Good seeing you. How was your day?
Good.
Anything I should know about? Did you do anything different today than you did since the last time I saw you, at least?
What do you mean different?
Yeah, what does different mean? Unlike the usual.
What do you mean unlike the usual?
Think about what you've done in the last 6 days and tell me something that you might have done that's different than what you usually do. That's called different.
No, not much.
No? Okay. Same duties every day, go to school and blah, blah. Over the weekend, you did exactly what you did
Oh,
the weekend of your whole life.
like Christmas break, 2 weeks off.
I heard about that. My grandchildren are downstairs and they came in, they said, we don't have school for 2 weeks. Yeah. I said, well, make sure you thank the right people. Don't thank Santa Claus. Did you know that it's actually not called Christmas break? You know what the real
No,
name for these 2 weeks off is?
Christmas Eve?
No.
No.
Schools, public schools are not supposed to have anything to do with any kind of religion. That's the first thing.
I'm not in a public school.
What kind of school are you in?
Private.
Okay. Your private school might be different based on who runs it, but let's talk public school for a minute, right?
Mhm.
Public schools are not supposed to have anything to do with anything that has to do with religion. And you might not think of Santa Claus as religion, but it is. It's a part of Christianity. You've heard of that religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see the word Christ in Christmas or Christmas, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so somebody made up a figure called Santa Claus. They stuck him in the religion, and in public school, and I learned this when I was actually in public school, you're not supposed to call it Christmas break. You're supposed to call it winter break.
Oh,
Okay. Do you celebrate Christmas? Then stop calling it Christmas break.
just
Call it
fine.
winter break. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's your first lesson for today. And then some people might say, well, how can we get off all of these Jewish holidays if schools are not supposed to recognize religions? They're supposed to be separate from religion. They call it church and state. You'll learn that next year. But the reason why public schools have off practically every Jewish holiday, even the ones you can't pronounce, Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, these are names that most people don't know because most people are Christians. But the reason why we have them off from public school is not because it's a real day off. It's because the people who run public schools are mostly Jewish. So if they take off from work, guess what happens to the rest of the system?
Gone.
Down for the count. All right. Anyway, that's an aside. So let's get into our lesson for today. We're going to be talking about part 2 of a subject we started last week. And what was the key word from last week?
Iqra?
Yeah. You ready to roll?
Mhm.
You don't sound that enthused. Let me ask you again. You ready to roll, Mahdi?
Yeah.
There's a question mark at the end of your yeah. Yeah, I think so. Now let me try this one more time. Mahdi, you ready to learn today?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Stand by for the notes. Hold on. Here we go. We're going to pick up basically where we left off. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to start reading whenever you're ready.
What are the consonants in the word Iqra? Root letters Ara'a to collect together. Kaf or Kaf or something.
Off.
Back off back of the head, subconscious mind, memory.
Okay, so that's the meaning for the letter off in the Arabic language. Now, if you go to an Arabic class, at somebody's school or college or university and you take an Arabic course and they're teaching you the Arabic letter system, they're not going to tell you that qaf means the back of your head. Why do you think they will not tell you that? Are they trying to hide something from you?
Well, since the this part of the head, the front part, does, this is the conscious part, the front part, I think.
Correct.
It takes it's conscious, but the subconscious mind has its own secret.
Okay, you may not have understood my question, but you're absolutely right in what you're saying. Absolutely spot on. But hold on, I'm going to ask my question again. I said that right now, if you were, say, 15 or 18 or 21, and you were in high school or college, and you took an Arabic class, and the first thing they started teaching you was the Arabic alphabet, when they tell you about the letter qaf, they're not going to say that it means the back of the head. And I was asking you, why do you think they won't tell you that or don't tell you that? Is it because they're being naughty? They're being bad? They're trying to hide something from you? Any of those?
I don't know.
Okay, let me tell you. It's because they don't know that.
That's what I was thinking. I had a suspicion.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They don't know that. They don't know to tell you that. If they knew it, I think they would teach it to you, but they're going to learn this the same way you're learning it. They're going to learn it through this system of nunetics, because nunetics is not just dealing with Arabic root words. Nunetics, as you know, is dealing with Arabic seed letters, and you have to have the seed before you can grow the root. So it's not that Arabic teachers and professors and linguists, people who specialize in language, it's not that they don't want to tell you this. They would tell you this if they knew this, but it's simply the fact that they don't know this. So you have to be a person who eventually will have to teach them, even though many of them are older than you. Is that scary?
Teaching people?
Yeah. Like on a webinar, like I'm doing for you. Is that scary that you might be doing that for some people who don't know this and who want to know this?
I mean, not exactly scary, no. I mean, it's not like stage fright. You don't have to see the I mean, it's not going to be scary. It's just like a one-on-one person. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it something you think you might want to do at some point when you get much, much, much better?
What do you mean?
Like, would you want to do what I'm doing for you? Would you want to do that for other children or for adults who don't know this and teach them one letter at a time or 2 or 3 letters at a time, the nunetics way?
I don't know.
Not right now. Yes, that's not your interest right now. And I don't blame you. I never wanted to teach when I was your age. I don't know what happened along the way, but stuff changes. But you don't have to want to teach this. Just know it for yourself and know how to use it. That's all. Okay. So when you're reading the Quran, that's basically what this whole nunetics thing is about, so that you can read the Quran better for yourself, understand it better for yourself. And if you had to explain it to somebody else, one-on-one or in a lecture, or if you're writing a little book or booklet or something and you want to teach them about nunetics, then you'll have it all together. So there's no pressure on you to have to teach this to anybody else or, show people what you know. You do enough of that on YouTube without you even really participating in that. Okay. And people are getting a lot out of your responses to my questions. So may Allah reward you for that. Allah gives you blessings for that. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once again, give me the meaning of qaf on the paper.
Back of the head, subconscious mind, memory.
Right. Now you were telling me about the front of the head. What did you say that meant again? Because you were correct.
Conscious mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So the back of the head is where the subconscious mind is operating, and especially where your memory is operating. Do you have any memory in the front of your head?
This is just reason and processing.
Very good, but it's not memory. So we're saying, both of us are saying two different sides of the same answer. And that is that reasoning and processing information, yes, takes place in the front of the brain, the front of the head. You got the frontal lobes here. You got the neocortex covering the whole top of the head. And that's where conscious thinking is taking place. So you are absolutely spot on correct. And when you add that to the idea of qaf, meaning the back of the head, and the back of the head is where memories are processed, meaning things that you already know, things that have already been learned. They're in the memory bank. So in order for you to read, what does your brain have to do with those two sections? I'm gonna see if you can figure this out before I go into my version.
What does your brain have to do to read?
Yeah, as far as your subconscious and your conscious mind goes, knowing what both of those two things do separately.
Your mind, your brain has to, or has to, make the eyes work to look at the words. You have to learn the words. So the subconscious mind here, the memory, has to remember how to read. And when that happens, you can start reading. You can this frontal lobe is where it's processed, where the words are processed. If the words are put together correctly, you can understand what the sentence said, the paragraph says, the story says. And when that happens, sometimes if you really like the story, it gets put back here in the subconscious mind and then gets remembered.
Mahdi, you are a learning machine. You put that together very well. Okay, so let's continue because we're both saying exactly the same thing now. Qaf is the back of the head where the subconscious mind is operating, especially your memory bank that's in the back. So in order for you to read, you have to bring that information that's in the subconscious mind. It's just sitting there waiting for you to use it. Just like we say we have money in the bank, we're not using it. But when we need to use it, we go into the bank to get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No more mm-hms from now on, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So you go into the bank in order to get your money. You have to retrieve it from the bank, from the vault that's usually in the back of the bank, just like your subconscious mind is in the back of your head. See? And they call it a memory bank. You ever hear that term?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the memory bank. So it's doing the same thing that your money does in the bank down the block or across the city, right? You have to go there and retrieve it. Or you get on your little, gadget or whatever, and you move money from that, section of your account to a different section of your account. But it's doing the same thing that your brain does with information. Your brain has to go into the subconscious bank, memory bank, and then bring it forward so that it can use it. That's what your brain is doing. That's how you read. You cannot read until you first have information in the front of your head, meaning in the processing department, the reasoning department, the part that puts those letters and those words together so that they'll make sense. You can't do it.
Cerebrum.
Yeah, the cerebrum. That's right. Very good. Can you spell that word?
Serebrum.
Try it again.
Did I spell it wrong?
Yes. So you only have one other choice. If it's not S.
I said C.
No, you said S.
I said C. I said
This
C.
is all being recorded, Mr. Mahdi.
Well,
And
I don't know.
I have perfect hearing when I choose to listen. You'll hear it back. Let's try it again now, the way you know it to be.
Cerebrum.
There you go. Cerebrum. Some people say cerebrum, right? Cerebrum. Very good. And that's the part of the brain that carries conscious information. Am I right?
The
Okay.
cerebellum, the brainstem.
Can you spell cerebellum?
S-E-R-E.
See, you did it again. Now you heard yourself say S just now, didn't you?
Oh, maybe I don't know.
You're
S-E-R-E.
still saying S?
C-R, no,
Start
C-E.
over again, please.
C.
All right. C.
E-R-E. B-E-L-L-U-M.
Perfect. All right. Perfect. So the cerebrum or the cerebrum is where the conscious activity is taking place. And the cerebellum, what kind of stuff is happening in there?
It coordinates the muscles. If without the cerebellum, are we going to be able to walk?
Well, that's true. And that's for many other reasons. But for now, we're going to be simple and we're going to say that that's where memory activity is. Okay. Oops. I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Memory activity. And memory activity is usually based on emotions. Conscious activity is based on reasoning, like you said. Can you read those both back to me, please?
Cerebrum, conscious activity, reasoning. Cerebellum, memory activity, emotion.
Very good. Very, very good. Now, can I show you something real fancy and interesting in these two words? You ready?
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what it is about these two words that's exactly the same.
The S-E-R-E-B.
You're saying yes.
C-E-R-E-B.
Very good. But let's stop at the C-E-R-E.
Okay.
Do you know what that means? Seri?
No, I mean, probably a prefix, but
Yeah, it is a prefix. But do you know what it's referring to? I'm asking you this knowing that you don't know.
probably don't know.
Okay, but do you want to know?
Yes.
There you go. It just means covering, like the outer covering, because how it covers the top of your head and there's other things underneath that. The cerebrum is covering whatever.
It's like this Siri covering the brum, covering bellum.
Yeah. There's two different ways of looking at this. So I'm going to include the B because you're correct in that, because both of them go up to the B. But there's two different ways of looking at it. Now, that means covering. So keep that in mind. Cereb means covering. All right. Now, when you're looking at this word cerebrum, I want you to see rum as being related to the word. What word is that?
Ram?
What do you know about the ram?
Which ram? Like the ram where you like ram into something?
The animal, yeah, not the vehicle, the animal.
Oh no, okay. No, I wasn't thinking about the vehicle.
Not the ram in your computer.
No,
But the actual
so
animal with the two horns in the front of its head.
it eats grass, climbs mountains.
Okay, good.
Do you want more than that? Like where it bashes?
Yes. I want to know what it does that's unique that no other animal does.
It runs into things and rams into other animals
That's
for
what I want to
protection.
hear. And when it runs into other animals, does it get up on its hind legs and slap the other animal in the face like the Will Smith, the Chris Rock type thing?
No,
So,
I don't think it has the ability for that.
say it again.
I don't think it has a stability for that.
No, they don't. So what do they use instead?
Their head.
That's right.
horns.
Their horns. That's right.
Grows out.
You ever hear somebody say to you, not to you or to someone else, stop acting so silly. You know the right answer. Why don't you just use your head? You've heard people say that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, use your head. You know how to figure that out. Use your head, right? And what they mean is use your reasoning. Use your reasoning. So the ram became a symbol of the brain's ability to reason. Now, sometimes when you're reasoning, you have to clash or collide with some other idea that you're disagreeing with. You see? Mm-hmm. Somebody says, I think boys and girls are exactly the same. And your reasoning says, that's impossible. And how can it be exactly the same? Right? So your reasoning starts to clash or collide with that idea. And guess what? Both ideas can't stand together, just like two rams can't lead the same group of sheep. There's only one ram over the group of sheep. And the one who is the most effective at using his horns against the other one, then the one who loses has to go find another group of sheep to try to be the leader over. There's only one leader ram in the group of sheep, among the sheep. Only one. There's never two males, because rams are always male. There's never, ever two males leading a group of sheep. Only one. So I want you to remember that, okay? So that's what the human reasoning does. It establishes itself as an authority. That's the reason that Allah created your brain, to be able to reason, so that you'd have information that would give you an authority to work with, an authoritative position to be in when you say something to somebody that's reasonable. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's move on.
I also got my homework if you want it. Something went wrong with the email stuff, so.
Yeah, if you can at least read it, that'll be good, because you didn't send it, I don't think. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we finish this. Okay. Just have it ready. You didn't send it to me, am I correct?
Yeah, I didn't send it to you.
No, okay. So we'll get to it. We'll let you read it. Let's just get finished with this part of the lesson, and then we'll get into that. So when you look at cerebrum and you look at the consonants R and M, you find those same two consonants in the word ram. Just find a different vowel, A instead of U, but it's ram, but they're related because they have the same consonants. They're going to be related. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the cerebrum is the ram. That's its symbol, the ram. And it's dealing with conscious activity or reasoning, like you said. But the cerebellum, there's another animal hiding here. Do you see what it is?
A bell?
Yeah, but change the E to a different vowel. And what animal do you have?
Bull?
That's right. That's correct. So you have cerebrum here, which is the ram. Then you have cerebellum here, which is the bull. Do you know what bella and bellum refer to?
No.
Okay. They refer to, you've seen a bull charge a matador? The person standing there with the red cloth, and he's going, toro, toro, right? And then the bull starts, and then they say smoke comes out of his nose and all that. And he starts running towards the matador, and he's trying to catch him with his horns, right? They call that anger. that bull is in need of some anger management. But you got to blame the matador too for egging him on, right? But the bull, when we say bull, we're thinking about an animal that is extremely emotional, can be extremely emotional and extremely defensive. Now, the ram is doing the same thing. He's defending himself, but he's defending himself in order to be the leader over the pack of sheep. The bull is not defending himself because the matador is not running after the bull. The bull is running after the matador because the bull has some anger management issues. I know a lot of this might be like over your head. But when you listen, and I don't think it is. I think you're understanding what I'm saying. If not, though, just listen back to it, replay it, stop it, ask questions, write down questions, and you're going to understand this perfectly. This is perfect for your age and for your level of knowledge. I'm convinced of that. So you have the ram and the bull. The ram and the bull. Now, why does cerebellum also have the cereb, the covering? Because beneath your cerebrum, there's another cover that's protecting. Say it again.
Cortex?
Yeah, they're both cortexes. And each cortex is preserving and protecting something different. The top cortex, the neo means new cortex, the newest cortex is covering and protecting the part of your brain that thinks and reasons. What you said earlier, that it reasons, it thinks. So you have a covering that Allah put there for that, to protect that. But beneath that, there's a covering also for the cerebellum, the emotional part of the brain. So Allah gave both parts their own protection. They both have coverings. So we're not going to go deep into that. That's just there for much, much, much later. We'll refer back to that, okay? Let's push on. So you said already that Qaf represents the back of the head, the subconscious mind, the memory bank. Let's put the word bank here so we'll remember to say that.
The cerebellum is already in. Cerebellum is in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. That's why Qaf represents the cerebellum, because it's in the back of the brain. That's correct. But it's controlling and managing the information that's in the back of the brain, or the back, called the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where your emotions are mostly acting and creating your behavior, your emotional behavior, how you feel about things. You'll see that in a picture in a minute that I'm going to show you. But now let's get to that Ra that you spoke about so well, even without me showing you or mentioning this again. We mentioned this weeks ago, and you're still remembering this. This is great. So what is Ra again?
Front of the head. Conscious mind, thinking brain.
Exactly. Very good. Very, very good. Now, let's talk about that last letter in the word Iqra. Qara'a, that sound. What's the name of that letter or that sound?
Hamza.
Say it again.
Hamza.
Hamza. And what does it mean?
Ability in the unconscious mind to suddenly lose the connection with knowledge. Hamza cuts the breath.
There you go. So you've heard of people say, man, it was at the tip of my tongue. It was at the front of my head, and I lost it. I forgot it that quick. You ever forget something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's when knowledge becomes cut off. Do you know how to pronounce Hamza?
Like what? Like
sound
Hamza?
of Hamza? Yeah, the sound of Hamza.
Ah.
You got it. Say it again. I like when you say that letter. Say it again.
Ah.
All right. Now I want you to put your hand at your neck and go, ah. Yeah. Can you feel that right there in your little Adam's apple? Ah.
Ah. Ah.
It's like somebody cutting off your ability to speak. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to say something for the future. We're going to be looking at words in the Quran that have the letter ah, that sound at the end of the word. One of them is the word nisa. Can you say that?
Nisa'a.
Yeah. You ever hear that word before?
No.
Okay. Nisa or an-nisa means the women. But what would you add about the women, knowing that the Hamza at the end has something to do with suddenly forgetting things or not being able to remember accurately some things? What would you say? How would you apply that to the meaning of women?
Sometimes men have their own thing to do, so they go out to get their stuff, but then suddenly they get interrupted by the woman. Then the woman says, "I want this. I want that. I want my ice cream. I want my jewelry or something like that."
A lot of women that's going to come get you. I'm putting you in trouble on purpose. But I understand. What do women do that men don't do or can't do that might cause women to sometimes forget what they're doing in the middle of what they're doing?
So, what makes something that
Yeah, what do women do that might cause them to what did Allah give them as a responsibility, in other words, that could cause them to forget some things sometimes?
children?
Bingo. I hate that term. It's a gambling term, but everybody understands what I mean by that. You are right on with that. Tell me about that. How does having children cause women to maybe forget from time to time?
The children might go up to the mother and say, "I want candy. I want that thing in the drawer. To I want to touch the fryer or something like
Ooh.
that."
Ooh.
The mother has to
Naughty, naughty.
explain how the fryer is very hot. Explain how what's in the cupboard is not very good. What's in the car he wants to buy is, well, really a fortune. But yeah. And then she forgets what she was about to do.
Okay, that's possible. Now, some women might argue with you, but that can happen. Okay, not because of anything bad or negative that women were. God didn't curse women to be. Oh, you forgetful. You need us to think for you. No, that's not what that's saying. All it is saying is that the responsibility that is on women could cause them to, because they have to multitask. See, a lot of times men don't have to do that. Men are like that straight arrow comes out of the bow, hits its target. Men will go to the supermarket and they know exactly what they're going there for. They don't care that there are 11 aisles in this mega market. They're going for a can of spaghetti sauce. They go into the store. I know because I do it. Go straight for the spaghetti sauce. You don't even see anything else, right? You get the spaghetti sauce, you get on the line, you check out, and you get back in your car and go home. See, but a woman, because now she's thinking, okay, Johnny wants spaghetti tonight, but Susie, she wants chicken, she likes chicken wings, whatever, right? So she's going in there now. She's not just going for Johnny, she's going for Susie. So now she's going to have spaghetti and chicken wings for dinner, right? And then you might have somebody else in there who doesn't eat pasta, doesn't like pasta. So now she's got to figure out, what is this child going to eat? So now her brain is in 3 different aisles already trying to get what it is. And then she's going to go for stuff she likes. Okay, after I put the children to bed, I want a nice little dessert snack. So now she's in the dessert aisle. So she's all over the place. She'll go, my wife, when she goes to the supermarket, without fail, Mahdi, even if she's going for one thing, I hope she's not listening. Even if she's going for one thing, she's got to aisle surf. She's got to go first aisle, come around, second aisle, go around that third aisle till she's through all 8, 9, 10, 11 aisles. Even if she comes back with one or two things, something in her says, I have to see what's new, something I can use that I haven't seen before, that I haven't tasted before. I can make it that I haven't made before. And that's beautiful because she's the one that is constantly providing what do you call that? Variety. Yeah, that's the good word. She is providing variety so that I don't have to eat the same thing every night. You see?
Sometimes my mom says we're just gonna get broccoli, and in 3 minutes said the trunk is full.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. You understand. You understand. See? The men go shopping, they can take that one shopping bag and put it in the back seat. The women go shopping, sometimes it's the whole trunk and the back seat.
I was
But it
like,
keeps
what
variety.
happened?
Variety.
Broccoli.
Yeah. Well, broccoli. You don't like broccoli?
I love broccoli.
Oh, I was about to say, man, shoot. Broccoli is a whole meal by itself for me. I love broccoli. Didn't like it when I was your age, but I love it now. Spinach, the same thing. I couldn't stand spinach when I was your age, but I love it now. You like spinach?
I love it from the beginning. I love broccoli and spinach.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. Keep those taste buds acclimated, as they say, acclimated for that. All right, let's move on. We got a lot of information here. Over here talking about broccoli. Mahdi got me talking about broccoli when I'm trying to teach him letters. This is amazing. Okay, you ready? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
No more mm-hums. Are you ready?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So that's Hamza, the ability in the unconscious mind. Now, we just talked about 3 different parts of the mind. What are they? Beginning with the top.
Qaf, Ra, and Hamza.
Okay. And which 3 parts of the mind do each one of those represent?
Qaf, back of the head. Ra, front of
You're not answering my question. I said, which part of the mind do they each represent?
Oh,
Not the head,
Qaf,
the part of the mind.
Qaf, the cerebrum. Ra, cerebellum. Hamza, I don't know,
All
to
right.
be honest.
All right. You're guessing. Look at your page in front of you. It's all right there in front of you.
Oh, Qaf, subconscious mind. Ra, conscious mind.
Yeah.
Hamza, ability in the unconscious mind.
Exactly. Now, if I were to give this to you in the correct order, I would do this. And this is why you probably stumbled because of the way I gave this to you, which I should have done it differently. But let's say if we're starting from the very top of the head or the mind, then we would have put Ra first. That's the order you know them in. That's why. So you were right. It's just that I didn't place them in the correct order as you're used to knowing them. Okay, so try it again. What's on the top?
Conscious mind.
Very good.
Subconscious mind. Hamza, the ability in the subconscious, unconscious mind.
Okay, so what's the difference between conscious, subconscious, and unconscious? I'm going to let you guess at that answer.
Conscious is when you're walking around. Subconscious is like it's like your subconscious is like you're not fully aware. So it's sort of like a coma. It's like you can hear. Sometimes people have ability to hear everything around them, but they're just not allowed to react to anything. Now the unconscious mind, you're just like you've been knocked out with a bat or something.
All right, I'm going to
wake up, but
I'm going to give you a more accurate meaning for each one of those. Okay. Now, when I give these to you, I want you to remember them. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say again?
Yeah.
Let me ask you again. We're going to rewind the videotape. Mahdi, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop picking your nose in the camera, man. What's wrong with you?
I'm picking my nose.
You're picking your nose, man. I know picking your nose when I see picking your nose.
Look, see? I'm just moving
it. Okay.
You don't know picking.
I know you're not picking it. I'm messing with you. But there may be somebody out there in YouTube land who looks at it and says, boy, is sitting there picking his nose in the camera. So I'm trying to save your reputation. I know you would I do this all the time because my nose itches all day long and I have to keep doing that. But I know you're not. I know you know enough not to pick your nose. That's crazy. Just messing with you. I like to play around with you, see you laugh every now and then. Now, let's start with the conscious mind. The conscious mind, it thinks and reasons, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of running the show. Whenever it is thinking and reasoning, it's running the program. It's running the show. Go right ahead.
So, conscious mind is, you already said it, running the show. But in the back, where the effects and everything are taking place, subconscious mind. Without the subconscious mind, your brain doesn't exactly can't do the show, but the special effects or something like that. It's the subconscious mind, since it's the memory.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't remember how to read, then you can't read. If you don't remember the steps to read, you can't read.
Thank you. Very well put. So the conscious mind is taking in new information. You just went somewhere, you've never been there before, you open up a book that you never read before. That's new. That's new to the mind. So the conscious mind is saying, let me collect this stuff, this information. Let me pull this in. This is great. I never knew that about that. Right? That's the conscious mind. Now, once the conscious mind takes that information in and keeps thinking about that information, that book said to do it this way. That recipe said to put that dinner together that way. And you keep thinking on it, then what you're doing is you're allowing it to enter into your subconscious mind. See? Goes from your conscious mind. Okay, I need a book to do this. So I need the driver's manual to learn how to drive. And everything is in the conscious mind. Okay, my driving teacher said, put the stick in this gear. And he said, make sure I check my mirrors before I pull off. You still drive tractors? Do you
Well,
still?
the thing you saw, yeah.
Huh?
The thing you saw, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tractor, right?
Well, I haven't been using it much lately since we don't ever really, but
Yeah, but you still had to learn how to drive that thing. And when you were learning, you had to pay 100% attention with your conscious brain, that top part, that neocortex, that cerebrum, that RAM had to be put into place so that you could know exactly what you're doing, so that you wouldn't make any unnecessary mistakes. You wouldn't hurt yourself. You wouldn't hurt other people crossing in front of you. You knew how to use the brakes. You knew how to use the gas pedal. You knew how to use the mirrors if there were mirrors in it. So that's the conscious mind paying attention to all of that. That's the point. Now, as you continue to pay conscious attention, we're still talking about Iqra. As you continue to pay conscious attention to what you're doing is going to become easier and easier. And it'll get to the point where you can just get into the vehicle, turn the key, make the adjustment, chew bubble gum, talk on your telephone. You can do other things because you don't have to pay that like 100% attention because you already know how to do it. Where is that information now? It's in the subconscious mind, the middle level. See, there's the top level conscious, and then in the back, in the middle of the brain, that's where the subconscious mind is operating.
But when you said when the cortex comes in, the thing is that the cortex is for a higher level of thought.
They're both higher levels of thought. Here's what you're going to do, though. Make it a homework question. What is the cortex? Where is the brain's cortex?
The gray matter above the cerebrum, covering most of the brain. It's responsible for the higher level of thought and some reasoning.
Very good. So I want you to Google this question just to see if I'm right or wrong. Does the cerebellum also have a cortex? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Find out.
Probably, I don't know.
Now, if I'm incorrect, and we'll find out this time next week, same bat channel, same bat station.
So, do I write since I already explained what a cortex is, do I still have to write it down?
No, the question is, does the cerebellum have a cortex?
Does the cerebellum
Okay. I can't wait for you to bring that answer back. Do that
maybe
homework. Do that homework question immediately and send it to me. All right.
I don't know, something's wrong with the my email, I think. I can't find it's like usually it just memorizes your email and then I can use it again. But now I can't it's just like it just stopped working. So like now I can't put in your email. Something's
Okay.
wrong.
So all you have to do is enter it again and then save it. It should save automatically into your emails, but I'm gonna say it out right now so you'll have it when you listen back to the video. All right. The email address for you is Nunetics2. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the notes part. So it'll be in there when you go listen, look at it. Let's put it right there. My email is nunetics2@gmail.com. Now,
United.
yeah. Now, those of you out in YouTube land and rumble.com land, don't email me at this email address. I will not answer you. This is only for Mahdi to email me with his homework or with other questions. So I'm telling you ahead of time, if you try to email Instructor Bilal at nunetics2@gmail, I'm not going to answer you. You have to email me at another address that you should already know. And that is,
Like which kind of two? Like just two? Like
it's right there on your screen, Mahdi. Do you see it?
in chat?
Hold on. I'm not back on the screen yet, is what just, no, okay. I'm sorry. That's my fault. Give me one moment. One moment. I thought I was back on the screen, but I'm not. Give me 1 second. Cosmic Quran 1. Let me finish writing it, then I'll bring it up. Hold on. My technological skills have to improve. Give me 1 moment. Boom, boom. I forgot I came out of the screen. So give me 1 moment. Here we go. Right there. There you go. You see them? Nunetics2@gmail.com. That's the one that you communicate with me on. Everybody else who needs to email me, do it at Cosmic-Quran1, the number 1 at gmail.com. Let me know when you're finished writing.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we got Ra, Qaf, and Hamza. Those are the 3 letters in the word Iqra, except in Iqra, they're going to be Qaf, Ra, Hamza, Qa, Ra, A. Say that after me. Qa, Ra, A.
Qafra. Ah.
Don't say cough. Just give me the sound of the letter. Qa.
Qa.
Yeah.
Ra. Qa. Ra. Ah.
There you go. Qara'a. Say it again.
Qara'a.
Very good. Everybody in YouTube land and Rumble land, say qara'a. Somebody messed up. Try it again. Qara'a. There you go. Could you hear them?
A little bit. I heard like a little tiny voice going.
You couldn't hear them. There's nobody out there yet. But that's good. That's good. If you could hear them, I like that. You got, boy, your brain is going to be something else. Whew. Dealing with genius, I tell you. All
I
right.
did hear. I don't know why. I heard a voice.
Huh?
I heard a voice for some unknown reason.
But it's all right because you wanted to hear voice. That's fine. That's a well-oiled brain you have there. All right, let's keep going now. I don't want to lose the pace. All right. So we know what all 3 of those letters are. Now let's look at the picture. At a very interesting picture. Now, looks confusing, doesn't it?
Sort of.
I'm going to make it very easy for you. I'm going to cause you to concentrate only on three things. Okay. Don't worry about these numbers. Just look at the words. Now you already see cerebral cortex, right? That's the cerebellum we were talking about. That's what that is. That's everything. Where you see my cursor going? That's everything that is the top of the brain. This top part of the brain, all of that is the cerebral cortex. That's one. What is it controlling? What's this word here?
Thinking.
That's right. So the cerebral cortex, that part of the brain, is controlling your thinking. But it's also influencing what? Where the arrow is going.
Feeling.
The feeling.
You have to think about the feeling before you can even feel the thinking. You can't feel the thinking.
Say that again, man. I'm going to use that in my psychology class.
You can't feel the thinking. You have to think the feeling first.
You go ahead, man. I love it. Now, let me tell you what else this is saying. It's saying that every time you think, there's going to be a feeling that develops based on what you're thinking about. There's no such thing as a thought that does not connect with some type of feeling in you, even if the feeling is in it, what they call indifference, meaning you don't really even care. You look at the poster, the billboard on the highway, and you look at it and you don't think about it, but it still created a feeling in you.
That's ignoring, though.
Yeah, you're ignoring, but ignoring is still a feeling. I don't care for that thing. I don't care about what she's saying to me. It's not interesting. That's still a feeling. They call it good, bad, or indifferent. If you don't know the word indifferent, that's one to write down for homework. Matter of fact, write it down. I'm going to spell it for you. Indifferent. Do you already know how to spell it?
I probably would just by.
I'm pretty sure you do, just listening to it. Right fast now, right fast. We got 5 minutes, 6 minutes left. Come on now. Come on, Mahdi, you can do it.
We always go overtime and stuff that way.
Say it again.
We always go overtime.
So we can go overtime? Nobody's calling you to the dinner table? Nobody's got the alarm clock next to you? Mahdi, your time is up. It's up. It's up. Stop bothering me.
I mean, sometimes I'm hungry, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I eat so much that I'm finished for our dinner. Okay, so what do you want me to put?
Okay, I want you to put the word indifferent.
Just put indifferent?
Yeah, but I want you to spell it for me so I know that you're spelling it correctly.
I might not know how to do this. Okay. I-N D-I-F-F-R-E-N-T.
You missed one letter after the F. Indifferent. Indifferent.
I was thinking, F-I or F-E?
F-E. Now, I could be wrong. Matter of fact, we can solve that right now. Let's see. I-N-D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-T. This is the way I think it is. If it doesn't turn red, then I'm right. There you go. This is what you said. I-N-D-I-F-F-R-E-N-T. If it turns red, it changed it to the right one. See what it did? So that's the spelling. That's the word that you have as your new homework word. Got it?
What do you mean homework word? What, do you want me to spell it again?
No, I want you to look up the meaning.
Oh.
Because what you're trying to determine is whether that's a feeling or not. We know good is a feeling. I feel good. We know bad.
I know what he's a feeling.
Huh?
Indifferent is a feeling.
Okay, I want you to prove it by the dictionary. Okay.
What, you want me to like look in the dictionary
Yeah,
and start?
like the way you look up your other words. Just look up the word indifferent. Give me the dictionary meaning. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So forgot what I was saying, Mahdi.
What?
Huh? What was I saying? What was I saying about thinking and feeling? Do you remember?
There was something about you can't you have to feel you have to there's always a feeling when you think.
Correct. You have a good memory.
Of
Every
course.
time you have a thought, that thought produces a feeling. It can be a strong feeling, it can be a weak feeling, it can be an indifferent feeling, it can be a bad feeling, but it's going to produce a feeling. And we'll talk about why next week. I'm going to show you why every time a thought comes into your brain, you have to feel a certain way about it.
I know it's like it just makes sense directly.
Explain.
I mean, like if someone tells you that, did you know? Um, let's say vultures eat dead meat. Well, some kids will think it is pretty gross that
Yeah,
vultures eat dead animals on the floor. And then you just say it's most kids will think it's pretty gross. That's a feeling.
that's
Grossness.
right.
Disgusted. That's a feeling. And
That's
then
right.
there's and then when you have to because it makes sense the reason why that whenever you think you have a feeling. I mean
Now,
being
give me an
angry,
example of a good feeling. What would produce a good feeling? What kind of thought?
um somebody gave you a gold medal for
Oh,
like you were the star athlete and you'd be pretty happy jumping around for
yeah,
happiness.
for sure. Now, what about indifferent feeling? If it is a feeling.
Indifferent, it is pretty much a feeling because when you look at something and you don't really care, it is a feeling. It's like being if you're ignoring it, you're being not ignorant, but like avoiding it, like just I mean not avoiding it, just like this is not interested.
Right. Good word. Not good words. Not interested. And the very fact that you're not interested means that you feel a certain way about it. So
You
I'm
just
not.
don't.
That's
You
how I
just like
feel. I'm not interested. Right.
you just like oh I would throw this too much trash. You don't care. You
Yeah.
don't want
Doesn't
to know.
matter. Do it. Don't do it. Doesn't matter. Let's look at the movie. Let's not look at it. I'm really indifferent to. So good. Very good. And I'll wait to see what kind of a dictionary meaning you come back with. So let's go through this quickly so we'll understand how all of this brain activity is related to the word Iqra. See, when Allah puts words in the Quran, they're not just words like you learn in elementary school. They are words that you can learn as an elementary school student, but they are also words that have deep connections into the deepest sciences that this world has ever known. Is that scary? That the Quran is
Deep
speaking to
or
sciences
not.
that the world hasn't even discovered yet? Do you know that
Uh,
if you keep studying these words like I'm giving them to you based on the fitrah, that you're going to begin to come up with science ideas that the world has not yet discovered?
well, since you're saying this, well, then the world has technically discovered it because you've already discovered it. All you have to do is just put it on a piece of paper and just like give it to somebody. A few years later, I don't know, maybe the whole world knows this.
You think it's that easy, huh?
No, not that. Not
Yeah.
not
But you're on the
necessarily
right
easy.
track. You're on the right track. If they
There's
tell
somebody
if they
ignorant,
take,
not like it.
let me say this first. If they take what you're learning, you can't just put it on a piece of paper, don't give it to somebody. That's not how that works, right?
No, I meant like this video posted on YouTube.
Here's what you have to do. You have to take these letters like I'm giving them to you. I'm telling you that cough means the back of the head and that's related to the subconscious, but that shouldn't be all you want to know about that letter. You on your own, talking to those out there in listener land too, you have to begin studying what the subconscious mind actually is and what it does. That's your job. That's not my job to do your homework. Your job is to say, Instructor Bilal said that this letter cough is connected to the subconscious mind. So let me see how much information I can gather and cut and paste and ask about and read about that's related to the subconscious mind. So that's a big homework assignment right there. Most people, they're just too lazy to do that. But some people, maybe like yourself, might be interested in doing that level of study. So now you know what cough means, the subconscious mind. Go to Wikipedia, go to the dictionary of psychology, wherever you got to go. Ask your teacher first and say, listen, I want to know what the subconscious mind actually does. I heard of it. I think I have one, you know, that, but I want to know exactly what it's doing. And I want to know, I'm giving you the questions to ask your teacher. I want to know how the subconscious mind is different than the conscious mind. I see the word conscious in both of them, but what is a sub? What's sub? What does that mean? What kind of prefix is that? What is it saying?
Sort of like.
If I go into the subway.
Like another part.
Which part? If I go into the subway to catch a train, I'm from New York, so I would know this.
You go under?
Yeah. Under, beneath, subway, beneath the ground. So what is subconscious?
Sort of conscious, like not completely.
No. Use the same word that we just said sub means. What does sub mean?
Under conscious?
Yeah, that's what it means. Beneath the it's beneath your conscious mind is on top, right? The neocortex, the cerebrum, that's on top. Beneath that is the subconscious mind.
Like the there's somebody, it was in a movie or something like that, and it was like watershed consciousness, like watershed, like when your consciousness becomes like very conscious, like above water, when you're not subconscious.
Some people would call that supra-conscious or super-conscious. So what's beneath that is the subconscious part of your mind, your thinking. Now, let me do this real quick, and then I got to go. Ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Because I don't understand anymore. That fell out of my head. I don't know what that means. Now, so just you remind yourself that when I ask you a question, I don't want to hear, okay?
Your subconscious mind isn't working then.
That's right. That's right. So make that subconscious work for you, boy. All right? Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Don't play with me. All right. So I'm going to explain this real quick. Okay. We're dealing with cough, ra, ah. Cough, ra, ah. Cough, ra, ah. I'm going to show you where those three things are in the brain, and then we're going to go over them in detail next time we meet. Cough is in the subconscious part of the brain. That's limbic. It's called limbic. This is where your subconscious mind is. It's your limbic system. And it's beneath the cerebral cortex, which is where you think. So your feelings are connected to the limbic. You see how they're both yellow? And your thinking, whatever color that is, purple or whatever, right? And the cerebral cortex are together also. So thinking and cerebral cortex are where your thoughts are. And beneath that, meaning subconscious, is where your feelings are. They're in your limbic system. We're going to learn this in a few weeks from now. Don't worry about studying all of that. I'm just showing you that.
You know when you know this game Limbo?
Yeah.
Like go under something?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The limbic system, it's like it's under, so it's limboing under the cerebral. The cerebral cortex is covering the feeling.
Man, that's such a nice discovery. I'm going to use it in my class. So you're saying that limbo is related to limbic. Yeah. You got that right. That's a wonderful finding. You should feel proud of yourself. Limbo, 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 limbo. Yeah, right? And you go under. Now, if you accidentally knock the stick over, you're out of the game. But if you can make it under, doing the limbo, then you're successful. But yes, indeed, it's related to limbic because the limbic is underneath the cerebral cortex. That means that your emotions are also underneath your ability to think and reason. So if you're trying to make a decision, Mahdi, that's an important decision. You're not supposed to just let your feelings make that decision. Oh, it's a lot of money. I'm going to take that job. That's $70,000 a year. Yeah. And when you hear $70,000 a year, boy, your feelings are like, yeah, I never had no 70,000. About 70,000, I can give up the farm.
Sometimes you have to think without. Sometimes it's best to think without the feeling.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily thinking without your feelings because you can't.
I mean,
you have to feel a certain way.
Better like leave the emotions out because sometimes your emotions get in the way.
Yes, indeed. But let me tell you how that works. You don't leave your emotions out. What you do is that you don't let your emotions make the decision, even though your emotions are still there saying, it would be nice, 70,000. How many things could I do? I could buy a house, a car, I could raise a family, But once you find out what they want you to do to make that 70,000, that's when your reasoning mind is supposed to say, I don't know. I ain't selling that. I don't sell those products. I don't believe in that you're trying to get me to do as a job. I don't care how much it pays. I ain't doing it. See, that's your reasoning mind, this cerebral cortex, taking the role of the protector over the limbic system and its emotions. Because emotions can be wishy-washy. They can be, feeling this way one day, and by that afternoon, they're feeling something altogether different. That's why you have to have your thinking brain operating whenever you're trying to make an important decision. You can't let your feelings make that decision. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You need to add something to that?
No.
Okay. So I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm going to stop there and we'll talk about what the Hamza is doing in the mind and why all of that means to collect, to gather, and then how it came to mean to read. But Iqra, in its essence, means to gather. I want you to remember that for next time. It means to gather or to collect. Now, you're on a farm. Do you know what harvesting is?
Yeah, harvesting the eggs, harvesting the crop.
Tell me what you have to do in order to harvest the crops.
Pick them off of the vine. Cut the leaf, cut something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you got it right. You have to pull them out from their roots.
Well, no, some things you don't have to do that. You don't have to, like tomatoes. You don't have to pull them out of their roots.
Okay. Some of them just fall off the vine. Some of them, like apples, you just reach up, take it off of the stem or separate the stem or separate the stem from the plant, from the tree, right?
Because some things like you can't eat the leaf. You have to like harvest the root. You can't like lotus fruit. I mean, you probably can eat the leaf, but it probably tastes horrible. But I don't
Yeah, I don't know. You know better than I would. But the point is that you have to separate it from the ground or from the tree in order to harvest it. So that part we got together. All right. So we're going to find out what all of that has to do with Iqra and what came to be known as reading. When you are reading, you're also harvesting. But what are you harvesting when you read?
knowledge.
Yes. What are you gathering when you read? What are you
No
collecting? Huh?
knowledge
But from where? From what?
from a book, from a person, from the internet.
Okay. So I'm in the book. What's in the book?
Words.
Where do those words come from?
Those words.
How did that become a word?
Letters.
Aha. Aha. So what's being harvested and collected and gathered
Is
first are
the
the letters. Because you couldn't have words without the gathering of letters. Once you gather the letters together and put them together in a certain sequence, or like you said earlier, in a way that makes sense, right? Then they become words. I can just throw some letters together. That doesn't mean it's going to be a word that makes sense. Supracalifragilisticexpialidocious. You ever hear that word?
oh yeah.
You have heard that word?
Mm-hmm.
Can you say
I
it back?
know him. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. There's a whole song about it.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's from an old movie. You would have to get into all of that. I think it was Mary Poppins, right? But it doesn't mean anything. It's just letters and sounds and syllables that somebody put together and said, let's make a song out of this. Yeah, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now, there is an actual word that's considered to be the longest word in the English language. Do you know what it is?
I can't say it, but it's really long. It's a whole page
Yeah,
long.
I'm going to say it to you.
It
Ready?
has to do. It had to do something with the plant, like the proteins or something.
Not the one I'm thinking of, unless you know another one. I'm going to tell
Oh,
you
it's
this one. The one I learned was anti-disestablishmentarianism.
oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
you got it all
Yeah,
wrong.
that's the
I got
longest word in the
a
English
page long.
language.
This thing goes a whole page long. I can't spell this thing.
Well, find out what that is. I'd be interested in knowing what that is.
It's like it has to do something with the proteins of a plant or something.
Okay, you could very well be right. It might be a newer word than the one that I just gave you because they're always inventing new words in science, especially. So find out what that is. Just Google and say, what is the longest word in the English language and see what comes up. All right. Yeah. Surprise me. All right. That's it. I got to go. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you so much. Anything you want to leave your listeners and admirers with as a thought that will create a feeling in them that will bring them back to this YouTube channel next week? You have to advertise your brand, man.
Also, don't let things fall out of your subconscious mind.
That's interesting you'd say that because that's where we're going to pick up next week on what the unconscious mind is doing. Because that's when knowledge becomes interrupted. Something you did know that fell out. You agree?
Hamza.
How?
Hamza.
Oh, Hamza. Yeah, that's what Hamza. Hamza means to cut. That's what it means. Ah, to cut. Like when your mother said you picked up something off the ground when you were a little baby and you give me put it in your mouth, and your mother said, ah, 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 ah. She cut you off from that thing you were gonna do, right?
It's the same thing with your sense of touch. Sometimes you haven't even touched the hot pen yet, and that's what your spinal cord does every day. It's
Yeah.
like before you even touch the pen, you just feel like it's hot. Your spinal cord
Go ahead,
says,
Mahdi.
spinal cord says no. It's like don't touch it, and it intercepts the message before it goes to the brain and like fries your brain or something.
That's right. And now, if you make a mistake and do touch it, then what does your vocal cord say?
How?
Yeah, but it'll say ah. So look at the difference. What's the difference between ah and ah?
One longer.
That's right.
Not interrupted.
That's right. So they're really both the same letter. In Arabic, the Hamza is actually the letter Aleph, which gives you the ah sound. They say that Hamza is like the stem that they call Aleph, the first letter, is just the chair for Aleph, that little piece that sits on the top. We'll show you that next week. I'm going to show you how it's even shaped like your human brain. Okay? Then
I know it looks like
Hamza. Got it?
Mhm.
Let me try that again. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. But that was a good one too. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. The sounds of satisfaction. All right, man. Go do what you got to do. Eat your dinner, go to bed, study, homework. I don't know what else you got to do. But you're off for 2 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah. When we're
Yeah.
off,
Well,
we was
yes. Huh? What are you going to do with all that
yeah.
time off?
Huh?
What are you going to do with all that time off? That's 2 weeks, man. That's a long time to be out of school.
No, I work, farm, and other stuff.
All the good stuff. When I come visit you, I want you to show me how to farm. I'm going to come during harvest season. Do you know what season that is? What season is harvest season? Out of the 4 seasons. That's one of your questions that I didn't get to today. What are the 4 seasons?
Summer, spring, summer, fall, winter.
Okay. Which one of those 4 is harvest season?
Fall. Fall.
You're a smart young man. That's
everything starts to wither, so you might as well collect everything you got.
There you go. All right. That's enough. I will see you this time next week, inshallah, as I greet you with the wonderful greetings of peace and togetherness and wholeness and unity and all of those other good things. Salaam Alaykum to you, Mahdi.
Salam.
Okay.